welcome to podcast number 26. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Melissa.
And we're from Espace Tricot, a yarn shop in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And we're back after the holidays.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone. And,
Gosh, it's
been a while.
January 15th today, so we're a little late to wishing everybody Happy New Year and ringing it in with you guys. But, you know, we had to recovery from the holidays, and then we had my birthday to celebrate. Exactly.
Yay.
And
her mid-century.
My mid-century. Oh, my God. This is 50, guys.
Yes, and it's fabulous.
50 and fabulous.
50 and fabulous.
So I'm just coming down off that because my party was this weekend.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Lisa did a beautiful job.
Oh, very basic.
Organizing a party with my husband and
your sister.
And it was
the three of us.
Yeah.
Your sister, Johannes, and
that's
I.
right. Mm-hmm. You guys saw the cake.
It was great.
People are asking me if my sister. I posted the cake that my birthday cake to Instagram, and people were like, "Wow, your sister has talent. Did she make that?" And I was like, "She made it come here."
She does have talent, but not in the cake domain.
In the sourcing department.
Yes,
she's good at sourcing.
And she's a great singer as well.
Oh, yes, of course. She's got loads of creative talent. She's
Lots
actually an amazing artist as well. But
she's not even a knitter, so she did it all by herself.
She's knit one scarf for her best friend many years ago and felt like that was like a bucket list thing, and she was done. So no, I don't have a sister to knit with.
No, that's why we have each other.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was lots of fun, and it was hilarious because Johannes was in charge of the photos, so he printed all these like huge
photos of me, and I walked into the restaurant. There were like photos of me everywhere, lining the walls, on cards on the tables,
on the back of the benches.
Yes, exactly.
I'm
like what the actual.
I'm like, Johannes, Melissa's gonna kill you.
Exactly. He's like, should I take them down?
Oh my God!
I just embraced it. I was like, God, if I'd known about this, I would have given him a few better pictures to put.
She was a very good sport, but he did a good job because he had your brother, your sister, your friends.
Yes, he had all my old friends.
Your parents, Tristan, him, you, me.
Yeah,
it was good.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
was
fun.
Managed to cover all the bases, and so it was the most beautiful evening. It was unexpected. The faces around that table were just so glorious and
happy.
It was just such a happy night, and
I think it was a good send off. I think for you
of my 40s
of us. I know send off or like kind of like not a send off, but like
transition.
Moving forward because I think we've had Melissa and I have kind of been like, oh, we're going to be 50 and what does this mean? And we still have like, kids who are relatively young and everything. So there was kind of this energy of,
But I think I'm starting to feel what people are saying, that 50s are where it's at. I think so many people have chimed in and said, 50s were the best years they've had so far, and I'm kind of thinking it's going to shape up to, careful what you say, right?
Yeah. But I really feel it because I felt like sort of we've kind of been like wondering where we're going, what's doing the business transition.
There's very much a sense of moving into a new phase of my life. Yeah. Which may not look that different from the phase before, but maybe it's just a mental thing too.
And a feeling. I think there's a feeling of like kind of renewed possibility and what's going on. And it just kind of happened. It was nothing that was sort of
planned or thought about. But anyway, it was great, and I'm still all aglow and buzzing, and it was great. But back to work.
Back to the podcast, and here we are.
We hope everyone had a great holiday and has enjoyed ringing in the new year for the last few weeks. There have been some difficult moments that we are all still, I think, feeling, and hopefully will be feeling for a long time around discussions that are happening in the knitting community this past week. Around racism and marginalization and representation, and we have commented on this on our Instagram post, and obviously it's not enough to do just that, but I think that it's a discussion that will be going on, and if people are out of the loop about it, we do encourage you to go to Instagram, start with the makers and creators who started the conversation, who we've mentioned on our Instagram post, and use that as a jumping off point to explore the topic, because I think this is something that we need to keep talking about, and that we can do well to listen and hear and learn about, and I hope that that everybody will embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important for us to be just inclusive and open and
I mean, for us, it's always
and,
been a non-issue.
Yeah,
but,
non-issue.
But the fact that we've sort of thought about it as a non-issue is telling in itself. And I think it is an issue.
Yeah.
It's an issue for so many people. And
it's time, I think. It's, you know, it's something that's always been there. It's always present. And just like how the Me Too movement kind of exploded and started a dialogue, I think it's important now to embrace this moment and to
recognize that the knitting community is not separate from the world at large.
And there's been a couple of comments that we've received about, like, this is my happy space. I don't want to bring anything that, but I don't think Melissa and I have been, like, we've been talking a lot and, you know, not sure how to express how we feel or how to say it appropriately because, you know, there's so much misinterpretation out there. But, you know, we are a community of human beings and of people. So I don't think that whatever... It's not like, oh, I come here to not live in part of the world, you know? Like, we are all part of that.
You can't escape the world because that's a luxury and that's a privilege that many people do not enjoy. So I think we have to recognize that.
And keep the conversation going and keeping it open. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's something that we do, and we encourage diversity and everything. So,
so we'll leave it at that for now, and and you know, and know that we will be doing what we can in our part, and
we're going to be, you know, that famous quote by Gandhi is, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." You know, so we really just we're part of this conversation, and we want to make positive changes in the world. So I think that's where we're at for that.
Okay,
and I think we'll talk
about some
exactly, and I think it was interesting because the holidays, for me, were very much a time of just kind of like introspection and reflection and calmness, and, you know, trying to just I don't know, be in a place of like peace and stuff. And so it was really a very, very, very nice holiday for me in terms of that. And how about you, Melissa? How are you?
I had a great holiday too. It was very quiet. We had lots of family around, and we didn't have any big events or plans, but it was just nice to enjoy the time with my mother. She had been experiencing the tail end of a bout of shingles, so that was hard because she was still in a lot of pain, but she's taken herself off to Barbados for 3 months. So
and miraculously is feeling a little better.
Yeah, she's feeling all the warmth and the sun on her you know, on her body, and so she will enjoy that for 3 months. My dad will go back and forth, and that'll be great. So, you know, that was the only thing that was a little bit of a mar on the holiday, in the sense that we were just concerned about her. But she's what I did manage to do with her, despite her being in pain, actually, was to record a video. Yes. Of her talking about all her art quilting and how she came to it, and discussing her artwork, and so I'm just in the process of editing that, and I'll have that online. So as soon as that's, I don't know if I'll put it on our channel or create a little channel for her, because I'm hoping that she'll continue with this. But I was excited to get her to talk about her work that she came to, you know, quite late in life, actually. And she's an exquisite art quilter. And so she showed some of her pieces and talked about them, and talked a little bit about her history. And so I'm excited to get that up. So that was a fun thing that we did.
And you know, that it's interesting, I think on that topic too, is like, as our parents get older too, like realizing that there's, you know, stories we've heard or things we wanted to talk about and just kind of never documented. So when you told me that you did that, it was like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's so important to share those stories to inspire, and also like to pass on to like, you know, future generations.
Exactly.
And it's sort of, Gianluca did a project last year on World War II, and my father was a child during World War II, and his project was specifically about how children around the world and in different, I guess, communities, groups were affected by the war. So he interviewed my father, and we videotaped it. So again, because I knew my dad was a kid and he told us stories, but then to hear his stories and have those, and to
have it, to
have
it,
now it's so easy with a phone, you know.
Exactly.
So that's too. It's like encouraging people to sort of reconnect with their roots and getting those stories and just hearing them. And I think when you sort of listen to people who come from different places and hear their perspective, then it opens you up to understandings of history, because isn't the idea of like history repeats itself?
Yes, if we don't learn from it.
Right. So that was nice.
Yeah, I think that I have to give a shout out to Jackie Rose and Sally Journey of Sally Journey Quilts, because they were actually the inspiration behind.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, behind the whole impetus or the impulse to really say, you know what, why haven't I done this with my mother yet? You know, so Jackie Rose is she's a teacher and a knitter, an avid knitter, and she has a friend, Caitlin, and they've actually started a podcast. And I think I may have mentioned them in one of my Instagram posts, but I really encourage you to go and check them out. Caddy Jack's Knits is their podcast, but Jackie's mother is also an art quilter, and so she encouraged her mother. I think she encouraged Sally to start sort of, recording her process around art quilting as well. And so she's got her little podcast now. I think she's got 2 or 3 episodes up there now, maybe 3. Sally Journey Quilts on YouTube. And so those are just great. If you're interested in fiber and quilting and art, then I encourage you to go and watch both of those podcasts. And thank you, Jackie, for the encouragement, and Sally for doing it, and I enjoy them both.
Yeah, and so they sent us these little...
Oh, yeah, we had beautiful gifts.
Beautiful little, so we put them up next to our little tree. And I just want to give a little shout out to Sinead as well.
Oh,
who
sure.
Sent us a little
Of course.
photograph.
I meant to bring the photographs that she sent us today.
So beautiful.
Because we haven't shown those.
No.
But Sinead is one of our followers who...
always comments all the time. It's
Michigan,
great.
Right? And is she Michigan? Yeah, she's
I don't know. I just know Sinead. I never know where
she's one of our
from.
biggest supporters on Instagram, and she sent us these beautiful... She's a photographer, and she sent us these beautiful prints of 2 of her photographs, and she picked just the perfect ones for Lisa and I, right?
Yeah,
so actually,
great.
I'll Instagram those because they are really pretty. And as a thank you out of the blue for our podcast and what we do, and
humbling.
it was just so it really is, because to it's one thing to put our podcast out there, and we do get some feedback back, but for people to take time out of their lives to send us something that means something to them, it's
something that someone made, that's really special too. So just want to thank you, Sinead, for that. So one little thing that I just wanted to mention, because everyone knows I'm all into the wool undergarments and everything. So I was going to knit myself some slippers from our Chalet collection. But
and then she decided, why knit slippers when you can buy slippers?
Buy them. Well, it's because I'm still having issues with my hand and knitting a smaller circumference. And what happens in color work, and when I do in the round small circumference, I go really, really fast and then I don't get problems. So I bought these little slippers. They're called Glerups. Glerups. I don't know if you can see that. And I think it's a Canadian company, even though it says .dk.
No, I think it's Denmark.
No, I think she's from Denmark, but she's Canadian.
But she has a Danish.
I think she's
website.
Yes, I think she's Canadian, but of Danish descent. These are amazing. So these are slippers with a leather sole, and they also have slippers with rubber soles.
Yeah, I've seen these before.
Yeah.
They're really, but I haven't seen them in person. They're very nice. It's a very nice, thick
wool felt.
And
they have different styles. They have booties. They have
colors,
slip-ons.
right?
They have different colors. Of course, I bought the very original charcoal gray. And I bought them for Sean a couple of years ago. Yeah. And for some reason, I was in my cozy phase with this holiday. And I tried them on. I'm like, oh my God, these are amazing. Why don't I have these? Okay. So I just wanted to give a little shout out that if you can't knit yourself some slippers, then you might want to check these out. They're amazing. And they have ones with rubber soles, and the girl in the store was actually wearing them in the store.
Oh, really?
Because she says with the rubber...
do they have a storefront here?
No, there's a Mile and Kicks on Park Avenue.
Okay,
if you're in Montreal, Mile and Kicks carries them, and they also have an online store. And it's great. She says, in the store, because sometimes it's a little bit wet, or I just need to go on the balcony or something, so you might want the rubber soles. So we have no shares in any of this, but they are amazing. So I might
have to go get some for myself too, because I have not. The ones I did knit myself a pair of slippers once, but I wore holes right through them. So,
but these are I have to say, I'm to die for, and I don't want to take them off. So I brought them.
I know, she actually came in wearing her boots and put on her slippers in the store.
Here, let me just show you how cute I look. Oh, can I? There we go. Oh no, you can't see them. There we go. They're so cute. Okay, I digress. Okay, and then the other thing we did during the holidays is we went to La Maison Tricotée.
Yes, La Maison Tricotée is a local yarn shop in Montreal here, and they were hosting the Pom Pom magazine event for the Knits About Winter book with with Emily Foden. I always call her Viola because that's her company. But Emily was in town with a trunk show and was teaching at La Maison Tricotée for, I think, the whole weekend, like 3 days, right?
I think she had 3 days.
And so there was a little meet and greet and some drinks before everything got kicked off. And so... yeah, we had a nice night with Francesca and Emily and lots of other local knitters. And
Céline, the owner of course, who we've known since before she had her Maison Tricotée.
We're embarrassed to say
we had never...
that was the first time we'd been to Céline's store. I mean, we're always sending people there and we're always, we hear it's great, encouraging, but, it's on the other side of town. And
but you know what? It's
actually close to where you live.
It's like a 5-minute bike ride from my
You've
house.
Got no excuse.
I have no, and because I wanted to go in the summer on my bike. I'm like, but is Celine going to be there? Like, I want to go when she's there. But I'm like, she lives upstairs. I could have just knocked on her door. So we were really happy to finally go.
Cute little shop. Beautiful
super cute
collection of yarns.
Yeah.
Loads of hand-dyed yarns.
And she's doing her own line of yarn as well, which is great.
Which we're really interested in carrying, actually, because she's wholesaling it as well. And it's a beautiful blend of, was it BFL and mohair, Lise?
Yeah, that was a really nice one. We liked the BFL mohair. We're all into BFL now, so that was good.
Mohair.
Yeah, of course. And it was fun because we saw some of our customers, some of our staff were there as well, so that was really nice to
it was
chat.
It was a fun night.
And actually, when we were there, we met, I don't think we met Vincent, but we met...
I thought we met
we met Vincent. We didn't meet the guy, the model.
We didn't meet the model.
So we met Vincent. He's a Montreal designer, and his thing is really to sort of promote knitwear for men and cool, well-designed knitwear for men because he felt that was lacking.
There was a dearth of patterns available.
Right. So he created this one called appropriately the Montrealer, which is a super cool hoodie with really just like 2 colors, and then here just a little pop of a different color. Neutrals with a pop of color, which is what we like.
If I can say, this is one of the most incredibly written patterns I've ever seen.
It's 15 pages.
But it's everything you could possibly need to know. I don't feel, but it's like 15 beautifully designed, well laid out,
and
not
like just
confusing.
to show you, like, look how pretty that looks. Like it makes it, you're like, okay, it's so well laid out, like you said.
Yeah, it's and every tip and trick that you could possibly want. Everything is spelled out, but in a great way. Like it's including links, and I was just like, wow, this was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
and it's a really cool pattern.
I think we have to have that knit up as a store sample.
That's a great idea, and it's knit in worsted weight yarn, so that's very accessible.
And it's a 20 stitch gauge, so it's not a.
And it goes from small to XXXL.
Yeah, it's triple XL.
So I think it's pretty, like, it's
inclusive,
amazing and pretty inclusive.
Sense. Yeah.
And it says choose a size that allows for 0 to 2 inches of negative ease around the chest.
Yeah.
So it's
it's chest size 52 inch. So you want to knit. So if you're 54, you could do the 52 inch
to get that fitted. Yeah. So, and he's working on a whole collection. And so I said to him, my son has been wanting a black zip hoodie in fingering weight yarn because he gets hot. So
that's like your black shawl, Lise. It's like
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Exactly.
So I gave him a little heads up. He's like, oh, it's in the works. It's in the works.
Oh,
for a preteen too, because my son's 12. So anyways, we really encourage you if you're looking for a really hip cool sweater for men. Design.
Although I think any woman could wear that as well, but it is designed specifically for men, which is great.
That's Vincent Deslandes, and it's the Montrealers.
And what is his? It's Dell's Knits or
his company?
Yeah, on Instagram, Vincent Deslandes. Okay, Designs by Dells. Dells is DELZ. Yeah, it's on his pattern list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have that link in our show notes.
It's kind of a cutie, this guy who's modeling.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's
go get that pattern if you've got a guy to knit for.
So I think that's it for our Chalet collection. We're so thankful and grateful to everyone who's jumped on board with us.
We've been gobsmacked by the support we've received for that collection. People seem to be loving it. The finished objects that are popping up on Ravelry are I mean, they make our hearts sing every time we see them. But in case you missed our last podcast or you weren't aware of the fact that we're running actually a knit along for the Chalet collection that started on January 1st, and it's running until February 28th. It's not too late to hop on board because these patterns don't take that long to knit, actually. We are getting a restock, hopefully by the time this I'm
pretty sure
but we should have we're just waiting for some Kelburn Woolens Scout yarn to make up the poncho and the scarf again.
And we're getting the new colors too.
And we're getting
so
all
if
the
you
new
wanted
colors
to
of Scout.
choose your own colors, you could do that.
Yeah. So we will make kits in the original pattern colors again, but you can we've also ordered enough stock that you could mix and match your colors from whatever's on our shelves and available in our web store. So if our colors are not the ones that you would necessarily choose. In fact, I'm knitting the Sutton slippers right now as part of the knit along, and I'm not using the original kit colors. I'm using this blue. Well, I used the gray and the kind of creamy gray were original, but my son opted for the turquoise, which would not have been my...
It's killing her. I'm honest.
I'm like, really? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't like the chartreusey green? How about an olive? How about? And he's like, no, I really want. I'm turquoise all the way. And I was like,
I think it's a fab combination.
And now that I'm knitting it, I'm actually, you know what? This
fab.
is really, really good. I wish I had the pattern with me to show. Did I not bring it?
It's on Ravelry.
It's on Ravelry. I've actually finished I've got all my things connected here. I finished the cuff, and what you do is you actually put in some waste yarn here for the heel, and then you just continue the whole toe, finish the toe, and then you come back and insert the heel. So the instructions are all fairly clear in the pattern, I think. I'm having fun knitting from it. I had knit the poncho as part of the
collection.
The collection, the original launch collection. So it's my first time with the slippers, and so far so good. Easy peasy. The color work at the beginning was super fun because it's very simple and quick and therefore gratifying. and really this is actually just a couple of nights of work, so they would be fast, except that I have too many other things going.
Really?
Yeah.
Shocking. And so if you want to make your own kit and choose your own colors, we also sell the Fiber Trans suede 2-piece slipper bottoms separately. So we have 3 sizes. We have the child size, which is small, and then we have the adult medium and the adult large, and we have it in gray, and we have it in this camel beige color.
So that's an example of the small and the large, because we're sold out of the mediums, but we should be getting a restock.
Yes, I placed an order, so it will be coming in shortly. So that's for the slippers.
And if you order the kit, those are included. Yeah,
everything exactly. That's included. And I guess since we're talking about patterns too, we can talk about Mona maybe.
Yeah. So these were we did Instagram these. These are these were one of the things Mona knit for us as part of our Christmas gifts. Look at these, you guys. Aren't they beautiful?
It even matches kind of what we're wearing.
I know. Okay, we'll put them on.
So these...
like, how well does she get me and you, right?
I know. Mona, has been with us since the beginning, and it's like she gets it. It's like, and she... and it's so funny because mine are a little bit bigger than Melissa's. She goes, I don't know, I followed the exact same thing.
It might have been because she double-stranded the Lopi.
Maybe, but I mean, I like mine always a little bit bigger too.
Yeah, and I like mine. I like mine.
It turned out perfect.
Snug,
so these this is a Mona original pattern, and they're going to be called
4 in 4.
4 in 4 mittens because of the pattern. It's 4 stitches, 4 rows. So she's calling it 4 in 4.
And repeat. Yeah, it's like all 4, 4, 4, right?
Yeah. So Melissa's are done with Alafas Lopi, and mine are done with Let Lopi double-stranded because she didn't have these colors. So it's exactly the same. It works out really well. So she
had just sort of knit them for us without writing down the pattern, and so we told her she had to write down the pattern. So she's been developing it. It should go live on Ravelry sometime towards the end of this week, which should coincide with the podcast going up. And what we're going to do is order some Alafas this week. And I think we'll create 4 different color combinations.
Yeah, I think that's what we said.
So these will be 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the traditional black and white, and then maybe something a little bit more fiery, colorful. And so we'll create kits for those, and hopefully we'll have them up in a couple of weeks. If we get our order in, I think by Friday, it'll be at least a week or 2.
Yeah, because we have to get our order in.
They ship on
Friday, and then we'll get it the week after. Yeah. So hopefully they'll be up. So if you wanted to wait, I mean, the pattern will be separate, because what we do is, if it's a pattern that we've created, we include the pattern. If it's someone else's pattern, we just sell the yarn, and then we tell you where to get the pattern online.
Exactly.
So you can get Mona's pattern if you like, and then if
keep them on. It's so cold in the store today.
Yeah, I know.
Think I could do the rest of the
My nose
podcast with
is
wearing
red.
these things?
Might be a little distraction, you know?
Okay.
So, so thank you to Mona for this wonderful gift, and also that she's putting it out there for all of you.
Exactly.
So we kind of, so that was sort of our little introduction, and maybe we could just say what we're wearing quickly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about what we're wearing. This is an oldie but goodie. I've knit a couple of these. This is my Hayward sweater by Julie Hoover, knit in Brooklyn Tweed Loft. I still love it. It's worn very well. I have minimal pilling, I would say. I think I haven't even gleaned it once. I've worn it a lot, and it... I've washed it a few times, and it's really holding up really well.
Yeah,
so
looks like new.
Yeah, because I was a little worried about the fact that it was a fingering weight, and it's it's a woolen spun yarn, so it doesn't have a high twist on it or anything like that. So I was worried because I was knitting it at a looser gauge. It's a 21 stitch gauge of the pattern, that it would show a little bit more of that wear, because it's not woven into a dense fabric. But so far so good. So I'm happy with it. Anyway, so that's what I'm wearing.
And I'm wearing this is my first lace pattern that I ever made, and it's called Flower Basket Shawl. I don't feel like taking it off because I'm cold.
But it's a triangle shawl.
It's a triangle shawl. It's by Evelyn Clark, and it's funny because when we met, when I started knitting, we used to knit at another shop, and Mona was one of the first people that I met at that shop, and she was wearing this shawl.
You met her before you met me,
Yes,
right?
yes, I met her before I met you, and it was a camel color, and I'm like, I think I'd like to try doing that lace pattern. Do you think I could do it, Mona? So she helped me find the pattern, and I bought a hand-dyed yarn, and I did it in a worsted weight yarn.
Do you remember what yarn it was?
It was hand-dyed from Ariadne.
They dyed it?
Yeah, they dyed it. It was their hand-dyed.
Oh.
And so I bought the yarn, and Mona helped me and guided me through every step of the pattern. It was my first lace shawl, and so that's what it's.
Oh my goodness! How far you've come!
Oh, I have. So it's so funny. So it's thanks to Mona that I embarked on my first lace project. So it's called the Flower Basket Shawl by.
And you still
Evelyn
wear it.
Clark.
Look at that! 10 years later. It's like 10 years later, 9 years later, right?
It's like new. I haven't even gleaned it. So that's what we're wearing.
Which is kind of funny that one of your earliest pieces would be pink.
I know.
Although it shows you've always had an appreciation for pink. Because when you do knit with a color, you often use pink.
Yeah, I use pink or navy blue if you consider that a color.
Yeah, not really.
So, I'm wondering, I don't think I knit with black when I first started because it was harder to see, And Ariadne was more color.
Yeah.
It had more colors.
Yeah, it's true. Because we were in our Koigu phase back then.
Oh, yeah. You see, we were in the color.
Although I knit with brown Koigu.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. So that's it. Now, how about our finished objects, Melissa? You want to talk about your rug?
Okay. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first, madame.
So I can't remember. This wasn't finished the last time. I think because I remember showing my floats,
Yeah.
but maybe it was just that I was on Sleeve Island or something.
Yeah, I don't know if you finished because we did talk about it.
Yeah.
But
So this is the rug sweater knit with Alafas Lopi by Yunko Okamoto.
And I'll say she wore it the other day without a coat instead of a coat.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
You don't need a coat when you're wearing this. Actually, it is because I don't feel like it's not heavy at all. It's I think the pattern calls for 12 stitch or 14 stitch gauge, and I think it's 14 stitch gauge actually, and this is more of an Aran weight yarn, but I knitted at that looser gauge, and it was just perfect for this. Because it has that lightness, it was great.
But it's not too dense. It's
not too dense. So it's not stiff. It still has...
Like your Tecumseh is stiffer.
Yeah.
It's more like windproof, I would say.
Like Clinton Hill Cashmere knit this sweater.
Oh
with
my
their
God.
Cashmere.
How luxurious.
Right? And Christy Glass.
Holy moly.
Who else is knitting the...
You shouldn't have,
I know a few people...
You shouldn't have told me that, Melissa.
Oh, really? I knew it. You're gonna buy the cashmere.
A VKL.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So quite a few people are knitting this up in cashmere, but you guys, I mean that I can see the appeal. But for me, I was I wanted that more.
But it's all like you want one of each.
Yeah,
like sometimes you're in a rustic.
You're right.
I bought a sweater.
I wouldn't turn my nose up.
No, exactly.
Cashmere
I was
version.
at just a little sidebar. I went to a store. I bought a sweater because I told you I buy my sweaters. I bought a wool sweater. It was like a turtleneck wool. It was it was a nice hardy rustic sweater. So I give it to the lady to go to the change room, and she says, it's a little scratchy. Would you like me to?
I swear to God, Lisa's like, feel my sweater. I'm like, yeah. It's like, is it merino? Yeah. Like it was super soft wool.
She's like, but I could show you something that's softer. I'm like, I actually want scratchy. So then she was young. She was like 19, 20. So I gave her a whole lesson on wool, and she was like fascinated. She was going all around the store looking at the consistency of her sweaters and saying like,
why would they put this
why would they put that? So anyways, it was pretty hilarious.
Good.
But I digress.
Anyway,
so yeah,
that's all right. No, so this is a super fun knit. It only comes in one size, but it is one size fits most. And I think you can play with the gauge if you need it to be smaller or larger. It was the only challenge, and I wouldn't even call it a challenge, was that there are long floats, particularly in this section here. And what I did was just catch them, although I've seen that people are actually doing like intarsia or something for
the back?
for these little motifs. So I think Christy might be doing intarsia for those pieces.
Oh, interesting.
But I feel like, that's a lot of ends to deal with.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if I could.
So I have to look at hers a little closer and see what she meant by that. Because I feel like that would be a lot of work.
Over the top.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing about catching the floats are not a pain to catch at all, but because the gauge is not super dense, the fabric is not tight, you do see a little bit of that, where you caught it showing through. But I feel like as long as you're sort of consistent with it and you're catching it in the same place every time, then it really is, it becomes part of the... Anyway, this is one of my favorite additions to my wardrobe. And all of Junko's patterns are so beautiful. I want to knit all of them.
Yeah, it's really like it's like walking art,
It's just some of them really are like a
wearable
little bit
art.
of a tighter gauge than I'm, because especially like there are a few like I think twigs. I think it's called, and every time I see it, I'm like, I need that in my wardrobe. But then I go and look at the pattern; it's like 24 or 26 stitch gauge, and I'm like, no, I don't have it in me right now. What
the sleeves? It's a similar like how the sleeves do
like
that.
a drop.
That's kind of a similar shape.
You know me, I like that kind of style. It's easy wear. I mean, some people don't like it because it kind of it lifts up the whole sweater when they lift their arms, but that doesn't bother me.
Just don't lift your arms.
Just don't lift your arms, or make it long enough. Like if it's a little cropped, you want to make it long enough. So if you do lift your arms, you're not necessarily going to be exposing your...
Yeah, and then you want to have it that's loose enough that it's like you don't feel restricted and you're like stuck there.
Exactly. So what are you...
Okay, so I...
got for finished?
Yeah, so Françoise and I collaborated to create a sweater design. A shawl design.
Because we're talking about sweaters.
Yeah, so what happened was I had this idea. Let me just take this one out here. So I had an idea for a shawl. So I sketched it out, and then I'm like, okay, then we've got to because there were different textures. Yeah. So we have to do the different, sections, and so I'm like, Françoise, because Françoise is so good she's very good at them, like the math and the 3D and logic and figuring out how everything works together. I'm not so good at that. I'm so good. I'm more like, you tell me what to do.
Is it that you're not good or you cannot be arsed?
Yeah, I think part of it
if you had
is
to,
that.
You could.
Yeah, if I had to, I could.
If you did not have the luxury of delegating.
If I didn't have Françoise, I would have had to do it. Exactly. You're totally right. But it takes, it's sort of that idea of like, it just takes more energy and time. So I was very grateful that Françoise decided to embark on it with me. But she might have regretted it.
And then you did it, and in one of these yarns, you fell in love with this.
Exactly, at Rhinebeck, right?
Yeah, Rhinebeck.
So what happened was Françoise we kind of worked through the shawl together, and then I felt like, okay, I should do a scarf version because it could be more accessible. So this is the scarf version. I don't know if you can see it very well. Okay, and it's called In Good Company, and the reason we called it that was because we worked together. So we were kind of brainstorming what we could. So it's that idea of it's a scarf that will keep you in good company, and also that we work together, and we worked really nicely together. So so maybe, I don't know how, if I'm doing it.
Do you want to hold it out?
Like, I'll just do like that.
So maybe. You have this textured section, right? Which is it an interest? I don't even know what stitch
it's very easy.
Here.
It's like a
knit purl sequence.
So basically, you knit two together on the wrong side for the whole row to create like the purl bumps. Yeah. And then on the way back, you knit front back. So you
okay.
like reduce and then you
expand.
increase.
Okay.
So that's what that, and then this is a cross stitch section that I was inspired from the hipster.
Yeah.
I really like that cross stitch. So we did that. And this is done in the nightshades in the Talk Radio, which is the purple color. Now I had 2 colors available, Static, which was charcoal, and Talk Radio. I'm like, okay, Lisa, don't be so predictable. So this is, we're really happy because Nightshades just walked in the door this morning. So I like my things long. So this is one of these scarves that
The scarf is really long.
that you can wrap like a gazillion times around you and be like super cozy.
It's good though. You can wrap it twice.
Yeah, you can wrap it twice.
But if you wanted to save yourself a little knitting, you could cut out a middle section,
Yes,
right?
exactly. So this is 3 skeins of Nightshades in Talk Radio, and it's like
But you
2
still
meters.
need at least 2.5 if you should.
Yes,
it, right?
exactly.
So you'll need 3 skeins regardless.
So we're like, let's just maximize it, you know? So this is the shawl. And what we did is...
So it's just all stockinette down the center.
Yeah, so it's easy to like shorten it.
Yeah.
Like if you want to make it shorter, you can definitely make it shorter. And what I did was I did an I-cord edge. So to sort of help with the rolling. So the edge is I-cord. And then for the stitches, what we did too, for the cross stitches, we mirrored them.
Yeah.
So on the second section, the cross stitch goes this way. So then when you're wearing it, it
yeah.
goes like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, all this attention to detail.
Oh, yes. I have to say that was Françoise as she was getting to the mirrored section. She was, oh, do you want me to
mirror it?
To mirror it? So here, I took off my scarf so I can.
So you can put it on.
And this, so here we go. So I think, yeah, there we go. So it's actually, you can really, you know, it's super
really
warm and cozy, and it's really nice because it's a rustic yarn.
No, it's a woolen spun yarn.
It's a woolen
too,
spun
from
yarn.
Harrisville.
So look at that. So much fun.
It's very chic. It looks great. Eh? Yeah, it looks really good.
So I'm really happy, and it's long because I really wanted that. I'm willing to warm and cozy.
Yeah, but it's chic, but substantial.
Yeah,
you know.
And the colors, I find the palette is just quite something. So we'll go into the nightshades a little bit further. But so this scarf, 3 skeins of Harrisville Designs Nightshade, and it's called In Good Company. So we decided to get this one tech edited because there were it was a little more involved. And
so you didn't have a test knit, but because it's a scarf.
Well, because Françoise and I both knit it.
You were the test knitter.
I was the test knitter, exactly. So hopefully it works out. It is going to be a free pattern still. So we're just in the final stages of formatting it. So it's going to come out in English first, then we'll get it translated, and then a few weeks later
and it's actually coming out
in
as
French.
2 patterns, right, Lisa? Because you have the scarf version and
the wrap. Now, we toyed with the idea of making it like just one, but we did things a little bit differently, and the stitch count had to change because we increased and decreased. So we decided let's publish it.
And the type of yarns is different enough. Like it was enough. There was enough difference there to make it 2 separate patterns.
Yeah. So what we decided was,
and believe me, as the person laying out the patterns and doing the graphic design and everything, I was just like, "Are you sure we can't do this
tried.
in one pattern?" I'm like, because I was like, "There's like the scarf and the wrap, and then the translations." I'm like, "I had to do this 4 times." Let's
I
put it
know.
in one pattern. Lisa's like, "No, it's not possible."
It's not possible. I wish I could help you, dear, but it's not. So then here is the wrap version. So this is done in
Let's open it.
Lamel garn, which is the lace weight version, mixed with lichen and lace marsh mohair. So this is like a really cozy, amazing scarf. Well, this wrap is to die for. I tell you, it's to die for.
Isn't that gorgeous?
So it's shorter than the scarf. It's about 72 inches long. I think the scarf is like 2 meters, so whatever that translates into. And it is really luscious. So it's the same idea. We've done a little bit like some repeats, a little bit different. It's so cozy. We still have the I-cord edging. And the stitches still mirror each other in the. So it's the same pattern. It's just stitch count.
Is it a slightly different gauge? I know the other
this
gauge
one
is 20.
And this one's 20.
Okay, so they're the same gauge.
They're the same gauge, but because of, I don't know.
This one has a lighter fabric because they're finer yarns, so it feels a little lighter.
Let me put that up.
So this one's double strand, well, with 2 yarns held together.
Yeah.
And the other one is just straight up.
Yeah. So that's another reason I wanted to do a scarf version too, is to show that you could do it with 1 yarn.
Yeah.
And this one you could even just use a different yarn that's more summery if you wanted something lighter. And here, if you didn't want to do double stranded, you could still do like it's 20 stitches. You can do a sport. You can do a DK weight without double stranding. So yeah. So these are our two versions, and like a big thank you to Françoise, because we really worked hard together, and she
knit this whole thing.
She was kind of cursing me when I was
by the middle of that stockinette section. I mean, that is, you guys, look, it's huge.
I mean, the sad, you know, I'm the queen of stockinette, and Françoise is not. I kind of
forced it on her. No, she was happy.
She was very happy to start it. She really enjoyed the pattern. So
you want to show some options?
Yeah. Or? So what we're going to do is we're going to create kits for our version. Now, Marsh mohair is a beautiful mohair that's hand dyed by Lichen and Lace, and every batch is completely different. So the batch that we got, so this is the color is pressed flowers with Lamel Garn color number 12. So our new batch is it's a little more punchy. Maybe you could hold that, Melissa. So you see it's a little more punchy. The colors are a little brighter. So this is a little bit more muted. So you're not going to get this effect with the new batch. It's going to be more like this. So these are kits that we are going to create. And then we thought of some other options. You might like something like Orchid and color 84. So that could be another possibility if you wanted to create your own. It takes 6 of the Lamel and 3 of the Marsh mohair. And then another idea is Wildflowers with number 11. So we thought that
would be pretty.
Yeah, a nice creamy selection. And
do we have good stock right now of all the Marsh mohair? I think we do, right?
Yes, we do. And then this one is called Faded Rose. So this is a little more, I guess, would you say like... What color would you call this? Like peachy, coral?
It's peachy. I wouldn't say coral. I would say very peachy. It's pinky peachy.
Pinky peachy, and it's number 30. And I had one more that goes a little bit on the mauve. So this is Sugar Plum and number 24. So there's and I mean, you can go with other yarns as well. Basically, you want a 20 stitch gauge. So whether you combine, you do it separate.
It's so squishy.
Both are 20 stitch. It's like, and the warmth.
Like, look at Halo.
It's gorgeous.
Lisa's come over to the mohair dark side. The dark side.
And it's so funny. Yeah, I just like, when I saw these two colors together, I'm like, oh, I think we could do something. So I was pretty happy with that. And
it's gorgeous.
It's
Lisa,
really,
I think it's going to be super.
Thank you. And I don't have a fireplace, but I'm like, oh, my tea. Like, I don't even drink tea.
You need to buy a fireplace like me.
Exactly.
And plug it in.
And just wrap it around and read my book, or just be cozy. So thank you to Françoise. This is the In Good Company wrap and the In Good Company scarf. So
excellent.
Now I don't want to take this one off. So that's our new publication. Okay. So now works in progress, Madame Melissa.
Well, I talked about my slippers already.
Your sweater design. Now that we're on to design.
So I've been working on a little design as well, and I've posted a couple of progress pictures to Instagram. So I think lots of people will have already seen this. But this is my... Actually, I don't have a name for it. I was going to say, this is my...
It's called New Sweater Design.
New Sweater Design. So this is a design I'm working on. It's, true to form. It's something stranded with mohair. This is actually also a Rama garn. It's the Phenol garn. And I've stranded it with Shibui Silk Cloud. So it has my requisite halo. And... I knew that I sort of wanted a funnel neck. So this neck sort of, it kind of stands up a little bit without being stiff, and it kind of stands away from the neck. And then it just comes down a little bit like a poncho, and then I just kind of fiddled with my increases until I'm a very novice designer here. So, but it's working. It fits me. It looks great. and
then someone will help you fix it up.
Don't worry, folks. I won't do the math for you for the sizing. I will outsource. But I wanted a two-tone. I wanted a little bit of color work. I wanted to transition to the body being dark, and I just opted for this sort of motif because I'm all about the 1x1 color work, and I think I did that. Something similar on my Gateway to Rustic cowl, right?
Yeah,
just very simple lines. I love lines, and I love that transition. And it's a little bit of color work for those people who want to do a little but don't, aren't necessarily into a lot of traditional motifs. And I kept it very sort of A-line and simple all the way to the bottom. And I didn't want to add any color work again at the bottom because I was concerned about just having that sort of that cut, you know, and that sort of band accentuating a part that maybe we don't want to. And but the sleeves, I think, will have a bit of color work on them. So I think I'm just going to make them black down to the cuff, and then we'll have some of this transition, and then the cuff will end with the lighter color.
Design as you go. That's
exactly.
what we do.
It really is a design as I go. I've just started the sleeves, and I don't know if I'm going to do them balloon. So I might go down in black and then decrease, and then do or maybe do the transitional color work. Do the transitional color work, then do a massive decrease, and then have a tight cuff, so you kind of have a balloon of the color work at the bottom. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm not sure, or they'll just be straight.
But you know, it's interesting. It just dawned on me that like we design like how we run our business. We don't commit.
I'm committed to nothing.
We're like, okay, it might be this, it might be that, and then whoops, it's something completely different.
Exactly. So, you know, it'll and actually, yes, it didn't even start out as a sweater. It started as a cowl, actually. And so I kind of envision this as being a sort of a fun, you know, just that whole two-color thing. It could be fun. It's all about just sticking your personality into it, right? So, I mean, you can have, you know, I've already picked out some brighter colors, and I actually like the idea of a army khaki green as well for the top, and then black. But Gigi Made It was talking about doing it the other day in her, you know, her signature color is orange. And I was a little concerned about orange and black because I'm like, I'm worried about the Halloween look. But she was like, no, maybe with gray.
Yeah, because you could just do the color work here in a totally different colors if you wanted. Like you could just play with that.
Yeah, anyway.
It's simple enough that you could do that.
So that's in progress, and I'm hoping to have it finished in time for Vogue Knitting Live, because that is, when are we leaving, Lise? Like on the
2 weeks?
No.
Not
no.
I don't know.
A week and 3 days or something.
Really? That's
soon? 10 days.
Not next Thursday.
9
this
days.
Thursday after.
No.
Yeah, we're not leaving next Thursday.
We're not leaving this Thursday. Today's Monday. We're not leaving this Thursday. We're leaving next Thursday.
Are we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the 24th.
Okay, we better get going.
So I have to finish 2 sleeves by then, and
piece of cake on the plane.
Yeah.
You can definitely do it.
I can do that, right?
Yeah, for sure you can do that on the plane.
It just depends on how...
If you're in the mood.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the mood. That's the problem with us.
Yeah. I find that my knitting is very much dependent on my mood right now. That's why I have to have my 3 different projects. And so I always have to have all those projects going so that I can cycle through them. So I don't have something being finished for a long time, but then I'll have like 3 or 4 projects getting finished
at the same time.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
We'll see.
If I'm wearing it or knitting on it, one of those at Vogue Knitting Live.
You'll know that it's been done.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm kind of like, I didn't knit for quite a few weeks actually.
Yeah.
I stopped, and it did my body a world of good. Not out of the woods, but then I wanted to finish the Nightshade shawl, so I kind of overdid it a little. Anyway, so I'm kind of...
The thing is Elisa doesn't knit for a while, and then she does like miles of knitting.
I know, and then
stockinette, no less.
I said to my physio, I know at least what the problem is, but I got to finish this design, so I'm going to make it hurt till I finish. So I've been working on this for a long time. I'm almost done.
You're done.
I know. I'm on my last ball.
Oh my God, Lisa, you're knitting more than I am.
So that's why I'm hurting a little, but I'm gonna persevere.
She's pushing through it.
I'm pushing. So this is called, I think it's gonna call Au Voyage or En Voyage or something.
It smells like Christmas tree.
It does, because I've been.
It smells like Christmas.
I've been lighting these candles, and I tell you,
it smells like evergreen.
It's a Christmas tree candle.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, and then I have this incense. I'm all into the
You're
smell.
making Christmas last.
I certainly am. So I didn't block it. I was gonna block it, but I have a thing with blocking before, so it's not as pretty as when Melissa shows her things. But I've done a ribbed bottom. And I've done a rib on the side here. I've done a rib border on this side. So knit 2, purl 2. I think I have 8 stitches over there, 6 or 8. And on this side, I have this little staghorn cable. And I did the ribbing here. So it's a knit 2, purl 2. So basically,
and in between,
it's stockinette.
Stockinette.
So
It's gorgeous, Lise.
my idea was every time I travel, it's Scout. I want a nice wrap to wrap around me, whether I'm in the car and I want to sleep, or I'm in the train or the bus or on a plane.
I'm very jealous of this wrap.
It's really a really nice, cozy, squishy wrap. And also, when it's 100% wool natural, it doesn't retain odor or bacteria. So I didn't want
I just said it smells like Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, no, I meant like bad odor
odors.
or body odor. So it's something you can travel with that doesn't need to be washed a lot. It's not. So that's real. I didn't want a treated yarn or anything with synthetics, or nylon. So it's six. It's going to be 6
Come on,
skeins.
you guys, you just have to tip your hat to Lisa and her stamina, because if I was working on this, I couldn't work on this.
But it's
look at this.
I know.
Jesus.
Well, because you got to make it long enough to wrap around you on the plane and in the car, and to have a pillow and a cushion. So I have this much left.
How many balls?
6. Okay. I'm stopping at 6. So
would you have gone on if you?
I might have done 7, but I'm like, okay, ridiculous.
Lisa, this is
so
long.
I think I'm almost ready to start my my rib bottom. So I've actually already wrote the pattern.
Okay.
I'm just waiting to finish for the dimensions and the proper gauge. So it's going to be 6 skeins of Scout in the charcoal, and it's going to be called something voyage, en voyage, au voyage. Melissa and I had a good laugh about how we name our patterns, because I'm all about meaning and Melissa's
I'm all
like
about
word
plays
play.
on word,
Plays on word.
Plays on words. No,
word
play.
Word play, exactly, So, and I'm more like, there's got to be some kind of meaning, or why did I do it, or whatever. So, because it's my travel thing, this is
She's
about
deeper
travel.
than me.
So, and it's my little, so it's been fun, and I really, it's actually, it's a kind of a fun pattern to knit, I have to.
It will be a fun pattern to have, but this would not be a fun pattern to knit for me.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. I mean, like, I might actually do it too. It's that beautiful.
You're so sweet.
Like, because I have to have it.
No, it's nice, eh? I'm really happy. And
will you knit me one, Lise?
Oh yeah, right. When we don't have a store.
Yeah, okay.
We've knit things for each other in the past.
Yeah.
But like a little
that's
scarf.
a lot.
That's a lot of knitting. Maybe at your 100th birthday, Melissa.
Okay. Gotta live for 50 more years.
Yeah. Okay. So next you have this one, the Woolfolk one.
Oh yeah.
So this one I'm hoping to, by the next podcast, I'm hoping to be done and have the pattern ready.
Okay, so I have my last work in progress. Actually, it's not my last work in it's the last work in progress I brought.
Yes.
But this is in my Sandy by the Lakeside bag in the Monstera leaf. This was so, a few weeks ago we were lucky enough to receive a shipment of Sandy by the Lakeside bags, and I nabbed this one right away. And we're pretty much sold out. I think we have 2 small bags
we have 2
left.
little ones left.
But if you are going to Vogue Knitting Live, I don't know if she'll have this print, but I know that she's selling at the Nice and Knit booth.
Yes.
I think she's actually done bags specifically for them in fabrics that they have sort of collaborated on. So I'm pretty sure this is for sure not going to be one of them, but still the bags themselves are so beautifully made. And
the little tassels.
Yeah, with the little leather tassels. And
now we have another order with her, but it's going to take a while. Okay. But we will be getting more.
We will be getting more, but she's very busy.
Yes.
She's in demand.
She's a busy lady.
Yeah. So I'm needing this this accessory that can only be described as a dickie.
Yes. Right. Though that word gets a bad rap, I think it's a
bad
very
rap. I mean,
smart.
you've never seen a more chic version of one than that, because you guys look how great it looks on your coat.
Yeah. It's like, it looks like a sweater without having to do sleeves.
Right?
Yeah. Seriously.
So I love this, and I have been wanting to knit with this color of the Woolfolk Luft for a long time, but I didn't know if I had it in me to knit another one of my turtle dove sweaters, because I did contemplate knitting another turtle dove. I did too, and I was thinking of doing another one.
Like I said, it's like a sweater without a sweater. There you go.
Right? So when I saw this, I was all over it. So I'm almost done. It starts out with a 1x1 rib at the beginning, and then it switches to just the front panel, and of course it's all cabled down the front. And I think that's going to be actually kind of fun. I might bring this to Vogue Knitting Live because I think it's repetitive enough that it's going to be easily memorized. And but I'm trying to think if I made I don't think I made a modification in terms of the stitch count, but I think I made a modification in terms of needle size because I wanted it to be
stiffer, stand up.
Well, yeah, you see how there's a little bit of a gap to her neck? I want it to be closer to my neck, so I may have.
That's one thing I noticed in all your things you design. You like it when it's closer to the neck. Me too.
Unless it's meant to be like this one. The sweater I'm designing now is further away from the neck, but it's not meant to be cozy. On my neck.
But you want it to have a little bit of structure.
Yeah. So anyway, it's Wool Folk Left. What can I say? This is a gorgeous ultimate merino cotton blend, and it's the same yarn I used for the turtle dove sweater. And actually. This is completely unrelated to this yarn because this yarn is so beautiful, but it is a pricey yarn, and it is something that, is so in demand that it's actually a little bit hard to find right now in certain colors. And I have seen so many fantastic versions of the turtle dove sweater popping up in other yarns. And so I think what I should do is a little roundup on Instagram of possible alternatives.
Good point.
To use for the turtle dove sweater. But this, I love the yarn, and of course this only takes, I think, 3 skeins, so it's not like the 8 or 9 required
for a sweater
for the turtle dove. So it is a little, luxury.
But that's a good point too. If there's a yarn that you really like, but that's on the pricey side, do something smaller.
Smaller, and then still have that sensation, that luxury. So I think that, and probably the slippers are what I'll be working on at Vogue Knitting Live. Yeah. So
I'm working on another design, and in another.
Did I say what that was called, or who designed it?
No, you did not.
It's called Gret. It's not even on the front of the cover. Okay, yeah. Designed by, it just says Wool Folk Design Team. It's called Gret, and it's just called a cowl dicky, or Grete, or Grete. And it just says Wool Folk Design Team, but you'll find it. If you just search Wool Folk on Ravelry, you'll find it.
Yeah, or search Dicky Hot right now.
Or Dicky Hot right now. I'm sure. I don't know what you'll get. Do that. Make sure you do that in Ravelry and not in Google.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm designing another thing.
Look what color it is. Lisa, your poor eye. She's got to do this before she turns 50. That's what she's doing. She's got 6 months.
Exactly. 6 months to go. So I Instagrammed this because, like I said, I've been wanting to knit a black square shawl.
A lot of people agree with
you.
Shocking.
Yes, you knew. Shocking. So I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it all stockinette, really. But I have to be realistic and knowing I don't think I would make it.
Okay.
Because it's real.
It's just I could do that on the knitting machine.
Because there's all stockinette. There's no border or anything.
Yeah.
I think I would die.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do.
She's making it interesting.
I'm making it interesting. I'm making it stockinette and reverse stockinette.
But you're right. Just that switching and counting keeps your brain.
So what I'm doing is I'm doing a tartan pattern. So I don't know if you can see. It's going to be very tricky. So what I'm doing is I mapped out a plaid. Maybe it's the Scottish in me. And I used to do competitive Highland dancing, so a little node to that.
Lisa, you've mentioned that a couple times.
Oh, I have it. Okay, I digress. So stockinette, and then in this section I have reverse stockinette, and then stockinette, reverse stockinette. So I have a few, if you could see my stitch markers, I have a few little bands, and then I go to a wider stockinette, and then a reverse stockinette here, and then stockinette. So it's still stockinette,
but it will have it'll change.
Yeah, right? So what I'm doing is I'm doing these bands in a tartan, thicker, thinner, and then I'm going to knit for, I think, about 5 inches, and then I'm going to do a reverse stockinette band to create the plaid that goes that way.
Yeah, so you're creating the tartan
using knits and
using
pearls.
Texture.
Using texture.
Tartan texture. Yeah.
So it's going to be square. My idea is about 47-inch square.
Okay.
And then with a fringe, a sparse fringe on the sides.
Yeah.
On all 4 sides.
Okay.
Sort of my idea.
Long or short fringe?
Maybe 2.5 inches.
Okay.
2.5 inches.
It'll
we'll
be
see.
beautiful.
So that's sort of my idea. And
So
you
I
know
guess
what?
you'll be working on this
Yes.
at Knitting Live.
And
for the next 6 months.
And it's black, but it's so easy to do. I don't even need a lot of light because it's just knit to the marker, purl to the marker, knit to the marker, purl. And I'm
and
like,
if you're a knitter who can knit without looking at your work anyway, which a lot of experienced knitters are,
then it's not a problem.
then
And
doesn't matter what color it is, does it?
so it's a way to do the black to keep me from falling asleep.
Yeah.
And unlike Melissa, when I'm in social, like really doing even a row with one increase,
It's so true. Anytime you've had anything to do
I
that
can't do
required
it.
even the slightest
little.
you messed it up.
Because what happens is I get too engaged in the conversation and then all the people stuff.
Yeah.
That
Whereas I'm more of a listener.
Yeah, she listens on the jabber. So I really need knit and a marker and purl, and I'm good. So, and it's black. I know.
perfect.
I'm sorry. It's
But that's with the
Rauma Lamel garn. So it's the sort of light. I guess they call it like a heavy lace weight or light fingering.
Yeah.
And I'm using a 3.75
That's
needle.
not so bad.
And I think my gauge is going to be about 23, 24 stitches.
Okay.
I did kind of rough. So, that's a nice thing about designing it. It's like you can say, oh, yeah, I like this texture and go. But if it turns out to be a different gauge, you just measure it at the
Yeah,
end.
exactly. My gauge
that's
is,
it.
let me measure. Yep, that's what it is.
Design as you go.
Exactly.
So this is making me happy. I know all my projects are dark, dark, and dark. But I knit dark in the winter. And when the spring comes around, I get into color. So that's, and I think it's going to be called black tartan. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So there we go. So I think that's
Very
it for our
good.
works in progress.
I think that's good for work.
So should we sew some quick store samples?
Oh my God, we have that whole other
I
section.
know.
Okay, I thought we were down here.
We sort of skipped. Here's this
Okay.
one. You want it?
Yeah, so there's that one and these two.
Okay, and then there's the hat.
Oh, and the hat. What's the hat? Oh, that's
the
from
nurture.
Julie
Yes,
as well.
yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that we can talk about is the Rebellious scarf.
Mm-hmm.
This is a beautiful textured scarf by Lisa the Name.
It's right here. It is by Nuts.
Nuts Knitwear Design. And
It's a free pattern, I think.
Ah.
I don't know. Anyways, you talk about it, I'll find out.
Yeah, we're not sure. Lisa's looking up to see if it is a free pattern or not. But we like this pattern just because it was a long scarf, but it had enough going on that it would keep you sort of interested along the way. So it starts off with ribbing. It changes to seed stitch. You've got
it's not free.
It's not free.
It's not
Okay,
expensive.
so you've got sections where you're doing the ribbing and seed stitch at the same time, and then you have this long section in the middle, and then you end off again. And are they mirrored? I can't remember.
They're the same.
They're
They're opposite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Emily knit this actually for the store because we had a shipment of Moonshine Chunky, which is this beautiful
Moonshine.
sort of. Oh yeah, we had Moonshine Chunky.
Yeah.
And we knit a different sample with, which I'm going to show as well. And then we love that yarn so much. I think we did the
Sonder shawl.
the Saunders shawl by
by Helen Stewart.
Okay, let's show.
Curious Handmade.
Okay, we're messing this all up, but this was the Saunders shawl designed by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and we had received the Moonshine Chunky and had this one knit up with it. And we loved the texture of this yarn so much that we decided to bring in the Moonshine, which is a worsted weight. Phew, getting around to this. And it also is a beautiful, it's just exactly the same, but has obviously a light, smaller gauge. And I want to tell you, I'm raving about the content and the feel. It is alpaca, wool, and silk. So it's 40% alpaca, 40% wool, 20% silk. So it kind of has that halo and that shine and that structure, so
It's got everything.
Yeah, it's sort of like a kind of a dreamy yarn.
And it's a very unisex shawl as well, a scarf, I mean. And what's nice is it's a scarf that's different. And that's what caught our attention, It has the points. It has different texture. It's also good if you're somebody who's sort of kind of a just over the beginner phase and you want to knit a scarf,
that's a good point.
that you want that's not just like a rectangle, and you learn all different kinds of techniques. So I think it's really fun way to learn.
Very cozy.
It's super cozy. There were some issues with the pattern, so Amelia wrote up her notes and put them on our Ravelry page,
and I think
also
the designer
contacted the designer.
Yeah, and I think the designer is making those changes. But really, the biggest issue, or the only issue that I'm really aware of, is the fact that this section, it was just, she had to double the number of rows in this section in order to get the length of the scarf that was indicated in the pattern. So
just go to our Ravelry page and then you'll be able to see our notes on what we did.
And really, if the pattern designer hasn't made the changes yet to the original pattern, then it's just a matter of knitting to your desired length.
Yeah. So it's really, we think it's a unique, fun, different kind of scarf, and unisex and great for learning and that's it. And when you have the points that are tapered like that, you sort of don't need to knit as long.
Yeah. And this yarn comes in so many, I mean, this is just a few that I grabbed off the shelf, but it comes in so many beautiful, everything from, neutrals, there's some grays and some darker ones that I didn't pull off, but then it has some brights, and it has even some brighter ones than this. I think this is, I forget what this is, if it's sea foam or whatever. I think we're sold out of this for now, but it is on
But we've ordered. Yeah, we should be getting that order. I think maybe even by the time the podcast comes, we might be, but we're going to be fully restocked with moonshine within the next couple of weeks. So that's good for that.
All right.
And then we have this beautiful Feather and Fern by Jennifer Steingass.
Look how nice.
So we've done that in Shelter, and this is interesting because it's a more of a fitted sweater. There's a few inches of positive ease.
It has the waist shaping. I mean, that's true about Jennifer Steingass's designs, is they tend to be a little bit, I mean, you can make them whatever size you want.
Yeah.
The colorwork things that I've done tended to be involve less shaping and less sort of body consciousness, whereas if the sleeves would start a little bit lower, but if you really like sort of a traditional tailored sweater with a modern flair for color work, then Jennifer Steingass's patterns are where it's at. By Jocelyn, who always does a beautiful job. So,
and that's in Shelter,
in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. Yeah. I don't know the exact colorways, but they'll be up on our Ravelry project page. Obviously, gray and gray.
Yeah. And this is another one Jocelyn knit for us, and it's called Timber by Shannon Cook, and it's knit in the Julie Asselin Nurture.
Yeah, we've been wanting that as a sample since I think it was what's the book called? Was it called? I want to call it Timber, but anyway, it was a whole collection of patterns by Jane Richmond, a collaboration between Jane Richmond and Shannon Cook, but the patterns are available, as single downloads on Ravelry, so you can just buy the patterns individually.
And this too it's in the same idea of a more tailored and more structured sweater. That is, it fits, like it has a little bit more shaping.
Yeah, it's not meant to close; it's meant to stay, stand open, but it is. Slimmer fitting.
Exactly. So it's nice, I mean, you have that options of things that are more slimmer.
And this yarn from Julie's new Nurtured yarn is so beautiful. So many of you have probably seen the Nurtured sweater by Andrea Mowry that uses this yarn. So this is just another example.
And this is a yarn that when people feel it, they're shocked because they feel it in the skein.
Be scratchy.
And they think it's going to be scratchy. And then they're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. This is this is Nurtured. So this is one of those yarns that you really have to knit to really appreciate the feel for it. And we have it in 2 weights. We have the Nurtured Fine,
which is a worsted. And worsted Aran, or is it a worsted?
It's a worsted.
It's a worsted, right? And then the Nurtured Fine, which comes on these great cones, and it's a lace weight yarn. And Julie just sent us
Oh my God, we are so so appreciative that she sent us a sample. And it's is it the Yumi
sweater by
Isabel Kramer.
Okay.
Nurtured Fine. And I mean, I love a lace weight sweater. Look how light and I mean, look, can't you see?
Look, people.
So
you can see the weight.
You can sort of kind of see my hand there behind a little. It's light and airy and beautiful.
How many cones did it take?
She has the yardage here. So she says it's 850 to 1600 meters.
And this has 708 meters. So
2 to 3 cones depending on your size.
Yeah, 2 to 3 cones.
And like hardly any ends to put in.
Exactly. So anyway, it's a beautiful, very simple sweater, A-line lace weight. And just with that really pretty section of lace at the top.
Yeah, simple, like, so for people who just like a little bit of interesting lace without having it too all over
So we're
the
kind
place.
of low on stock on the cones right now, but we
We'll definitely be restocking. And she also
Exactly.
sent us a really pretty fun wintry hat. Like, it just reminds me of you want to go like sledding with this hat or skating,
I was going
ice
to say
skating.
skiing, but skiing wasn't right. You're right, sledding.
Because now with skiing, you have to wear a helmet.
That's
so
right.
the Satin Portage hat by Monica Anna by Knitted Wishes. So that was a nice nurtured sample she sent us in a hat. And she also sent us a shawl. Oh, it's right here.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's like we just
I
felt
were
it was
drowning in
like
samples.
Christmas because
Yeah.
it's like it's so beautiful when we can have already a sample made
You know how
for
many
us.
samples are sent to us? Oh my God, are you kidding?
This is called Keep Loving by Sylvia McFadden, and this is 600 meters in the nurture.
Sylvia McFadden, she's a Canadian designer, I think, from out west.
So that's it's nice. Like, I find there's more, and you could also use nurtured to make the flower basket shawl. Well, I did mine in worsted weight, so you could definitely do
So
that.
it's a triangle shawl. Very
But
pretty,
this,
and
like,
we love this color.
The feel of the nurtured, I have to say, is night and day from the skein. There's
It
like
really
a
is.
there's like a squishiness. There's
It feels like soft, like cotton, actually.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
a cotton. That's
Doesn't
kind
feel
of
woolly.
It reminds me. The nightshades too doesn't feel
Yeah.
woolly. It has a bit of that cottony feel, but warm.
Okay.
So those are some samples that we have.
Is that all our
nurtured.
samples?
So I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it for samples.
Wow.
Maybe we should just talk about the nightshades because we've
Okay,
already
you wanna
talked
go
about
ahead?
the moonshine.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, we just received our and it's hilarious. There are 10 shades, and
Lisa opened the box. She's like, "These all look black." I'm like, "That's the point."
I'm like, I can't see. How can you tell the difference? So I'll show you the shade card. So I don't know if on the shade card you can really. Oh, you can see there's some
see,
greens
yeah.
and purples
And reds, and
There
my
we go.
favorite is Insomnia, that green one. I
This
think it's
one.
yeah.
So talk radio is what I did mine in. I was gonna buy this
Is
one.
that
which,
this one?
No, yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, it's that one.
Okay.
So,
And then I like this.
you can see them well there.
That's street light. Yeah, you can.
So yeah, you've got like this. This is the static talk radio. This is
Street light.
McLean Street Light, and then this one is the Fever Dream. I think. Well, we don't want to. I don't want to mix everybody up.
Oh, where's
This Fever. That's Cinder.
Where is Insomnia? Did you not bring it? Okay, this is
I brought 10. I thought.
this is Nightshade. Sorry, this is Nightshades. This is VCR.
I love VCR.
Oh, here's
eh?
Insomnia.
It's like
Yeah,
VCR,
this is
like
Insomnia.
from.
It's. I mean, it's. I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's black. It's really has that green.
Last Call. This one you can't really see the blue. You know what I love about the names? They're like so night.
Of course, that
Like
was.
talk radio, dashboard. I know. Last Call, VCR, Insomnia, Streetlight, Cinder, Fever Dream, 1257.
That's 1257 now.
And Static. Like this whole.
The whole concept.
The whole concept.
is good.
Yay.
Really.
Go
Yay.
team. Yay. You did a fabulous job. And the yarn is woolen spun. It's interesting because I find it like I didn't have any problems with the yarn splitting
or pulling apart.
but it was so easy to like when I had to change a ball and I had to rip, like it ripped like no problem.
Okay.
And also
But you never had to accidentally do it.
I never accidentally
Against your will.
No, so it's interesting. It's American Cormo, and there's a beautiful collection designed by Whitney. What's Whitney's last name again?
Whitney Hayward.
Whitney Hayward.
Yes, we should Instagram some of her. Okay, show those. Lise.
Okay, so I mean, she
Like
said
that
it was.
cowl is great.
They were like, it's going to be so hard to photograph because the colors are all dark.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Onyx cowl, which you can't really see here, but you should go to Ravelry and you can. They're much better images in terms of the lighting. It's the same pictures. Yeah. So there's pullovers as well.
And Whitney was the designer of the patterns, but she also took the photos, I think.
Yes, she did the photos as well. Like, look, she did a tank top. Like, how cool is that? With a high neck. So the patterns are great.
I really like the sweater. So these were all on display at the Harrisville Tweed booth at Rhinebeck. We couldn't get out of that booth.
Oh my God, it was ridiculous. We went back like 4 times and bought more yarn, and then my little story about I could have sworn I bought 3 skeins of the talk radio. I had everyone tear the store upside down, my house upside down. I couldn't find a 3rd skein, and I knew they were completely sold out. So I emailed Sharon of Harrisville, and I'm like, is there any way you can find? She goes, well, I have none in the warehouse.
Was it the same dye lot? How did they do that?
I have none at the warehouse, and she sourced one from a store.
And it was the same.
It was the same dye lot. I'm fantastic. Like, save the day. So
yeah, because your scarf was almost finished.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so she really saved the day. So I really encourage you to go look at Whitney's. It's the same photos, but the colors are a little bit easier to see than in the pamphlet. So this is a beautiful, beautiful yarn.
American Cormo.
And so I just wanted to read the first little blurb. It says, we're proud to introduce a new all-American yarn to their lineup. After searching for nearly 2 years for the ideal fiber for the project, we found a Montana-grown Cormo that was impeccable. We needed a fiber that was long, crimpy, and fine, but would also take a dye well enough to produce the deep black we were after. So
cool. They did a great job.
Super cool, and that's the cover of their little campaign.
What am I going to knit with this
I know. So Stephanie Erpa is designing a sweater, I think, in one of them, or she's doing something. But it's like, I mean, come on. It's just night. It's Montreal. It's night. It's great. It's so urban. So urban, though it comes from a small town.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we're happy. So that'll be on our shelves by the time this airs. So which means it'll be available in our online store as well.
You could even do my wrap that I'm doing in Scout, my Voyage wrap.
Yeah,
you can do it in this too. You know. So so that's fantastic. We're super excited about.
Okay.
And we didn't say it's a DK. Well, it's a DK weight, but.
You can use it at...
We used it as a worsted, 20. I found 20. It was a bit dense at a
20, DK. You could even go a little bit looser than that.
You know what? I said 20, but I think my gauge is actually looser.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But I think it's something you could probably go 19 to...
You know, now that I say that, I don't think my gauge is 20 on that scarf.
It's probably 18, right?
I think it's even 17. It will be on Ravelry.
It'll be correct on the pattern.
It will be correct on the pattern. But,
we're so well prepared for
it. Oh, you know what? I have it right here. Okay. My gauge is 16.
Okay, so
isn't that amazing?
So I was gonna say, so if that's 16,
look at that.
Yeah, because it's quite airy.
It's a bit airy,
but still with good structure.
Yeah.
So that means at 22 it's going to be quite dense, but you can use it up to 16. Which, my God, that's like a versatile yarn.
Seriously, 16 to 20. You heard it here first.
16 to 22.
Yeah.
Do they say 22?
They say
DK, right?
They say DK. It's very versatile. Yay, Harrisville. I'll pretend this is a little pom-pom. Yay, Harrisville. So,
okay, so should we jump into some of the things that we have restocked? New and restocked products?
Yeah. So Jezebel?
Yeah, so Jezebel B, we had these in gift sets before, and now we have them in... Individual. She had sourced this great swan yarn.
So this is her... I know I call it an interchangeable kit, but I think it's called a everything kit or something.
Yeah.
So this is the
because you can put DPNs
everything in it
and interchangeables.
So this is a limited edition. It's her swan kit.
Yeah, and this is her medium. What does she call? She doesn't have a name for her bag, does she?
Sac de tricot.
Pochette knitting bag. The Jezebel B knitting bag. I think this shape, even though it's not unique to Jezebel, I think most people associate this style of bag with her now. She's been doing it for years, and we have all her traditional fabrics, but then this
every
is
once in a while she comes out with
these are sort of the ones that are one-offs, and they won't be repeated probably. Right. So,
and then this is her little the little notions pouch that is fantastic for travel. So if I'm traveling, I usually fill up this one of those, and I throw it in my project bag.
Yeah. So those are online now, Lise? I can't remember.
Yes, they are online.
They're online.
Is there a photo? You have to put photos.
Yeah. Well,
it will be on. It's online without a photo.
Yeah. And then we've also been restocked with all of our products from Coco Knits, including the the cable ruler, the cable needles, sorry. And what I like about these is that they're wooden, and so they don't slide out. They have this little metal section in the center that allows them to stick to the Maker's Keep bracelet. Slap bracelet that you can put all your Cocoa Knits tools on. And then we also have all of the stitch stoppers because, when I stick my stuff in my bag, just stick these in there. These are the only ones that really I find are resistant to sliding off. So those ones, and we're stocked up on all of the stitch markers, opening and closing, colored and precious metal and Maker's Keeps, and so we're all restocked. And then there were these new products. So do you want to talk about this release, and then I'll talk about. We saw this at
H&H. Julie showed it to us. And it's like the cutest
it was just
little,
in development at that point, I think.
So this is paper. This is paper that's been washed.
No, it hasn't really been washed. You can wash it though.
Oh, that's fun.
She gives you instructions and
it's like a little. It's like cases within cases. It's like my favorite thing. So you have all and it's sort of origami here. So the way I have to put it down.
It was so cute because Lisa and I were debating how many of these to order at first for the store, and Lisa was like, "Okay, we totally need this, and we need like 1 million," and I was like, "Well, I don't know," and because it's totally up Lisa's alley, right? And this one was just all about me with all the spots to put your books, your pens, your sketchbooks, your iPad if you needed to. And this one spoke to me, and I was like, we need 30 of these.
So this is like, if any of you have the Traveler's Notebook, then this is exactly the same way with the Japanese style.
So you just slide in your
and you can take them in and out.
Pull them in and out.
And it comes with all the different colors.
Yes, and these, Julie does give instructions for how to seriously put these in the washing machine and wash them, and they become more flexible and they look a bit like leather the more you wash them.
That's what I was going to say. This is the idea that like the more you use them, it's like that leather that wears and it becomes your own personality, you know? So I just wanted to show that they open up and then you can use, organize your things like your stitch markers, your stitch stoppers, your different things, your darning needles, and they also snap off too.
Yeah, which is so cool. So you can just bring this with one or two with you at a time.
Yeah, just totally cool. So Julie is like, she's always like finding fun, neat kind of.
Yeah, developing and sourcing really interesting things, and they're always very Cocoa Knits.
Yes, you could tell that
you could tell a Cocoa Knit thing. So, and what's great is that both the project portfolio, and the
I don't even know what this is.
I think they're just calling it accessory kit or accessory.
Put in there, and then you just close it all up.
Accessory something.
And if you're into drawing too, you could have your erasers, your rulers, your pens, all your kit.
Yeah, and you just take it off, throw it in your bag, and go. How great are those? So we're really excited about these products. And they also come with the 3 different colors of elastics as well if you want to personalize it and make it your very own with your preference. And so those are all up in the store as well.
Because, there's only so much yarn you can have. You got to diversify. And then we have the ink and so Twig and Horn. But we're getting the wax canvas bags from Twig and Horn, the shoulder bags with the leather straps. So we're hoping that they're going to arrive soon. So you can check out our website for that.
They might be up by the time we're all. Yeah, did you say we're also getting the wax canvas ones as well?
Yes. So we're getting a good shipment.
It's a limited order because they are. It's hard for them to produce them and store. They're in big demand, so they are limiting the number that each store can order at a time. So I think we're getting 20 of the Twig and Horn bags and then some of the wax canvas bags as well. So, when you see them in the store, you don't want to hesitate if you really have your heart set on having one. Okay, so we're excited about these bags as well. These are from Ink Designs, which is Industrial Nature Fiber Studio out of the States. It's Erica. Erica makes all these bags. And what's great about these project bags is that they come in all kinds of really beautifully sourced fabrics, linens, cottons, neutrals and colors as well. They're lightweight, they're really roomy, and they have this great panel here to make them see through. So you can, at a glance, I don't know if you have the same problem I have, which is,
which project is in there again?
Yes, exactly. Which project is in there again? So we have a whole bunch of these in stock. They came in a little while ago, but because we've been on holidays and we were slow to getting ourselves organized, and then we have the Little Things pouches. And what's nice about these is you can see all of your notions and accessories in there.
Yeah,
so
and it's kind of like in fashion now to have these like transparent bags, because then you can see, because we have so many pretty supplies also in knitting, right?
Yeah,
it's
I should have filled one up with all of the...
It's kind of fun to see the pretty things that we have.
So that's, it's nice
to look at pretty things.
Exactly. So we're always sourcing different bags and different ways of carrying around our things, because
we are bag ladies.
We are bag ladies. We have a bit of a problem.
We have a problem.
Anyway, we're excited about those. So we're trying to be so good lately, though,
I know,
too,
we are.
Lise, about not taking everything that comes. We're trying to leave some stuff for the customers, you know.
Because we really opened a yarn store so we could get all kinds of fun stuff.
But I think we've reached saturation point, and we're really realizing we need to. We don't need to take everything that comes into the store.
We don't. We can be good about it.
Yeah.
So that's it for notions, and then we just have a few books restocked and new, so we just wanted to put those out there.
We've stocked up on Knits About Winter by Emily Foden. I've loved perusing this over the holidays, and also I worked up that hat pattern I think before Christmas, and so there are very definitely a few more patterns in here that I would like to knit up. And then the Knit How book from Pom Pom. This is a Learn to Knit book. It is so incredibly good. I actually taught my cousin to knit over the holidays with this book, and she's loving it. And I also gave it to a friend, and she's really loving the way it's laid out, the simplicity, the attention to making sure you have some of that basic background information that helps you orient yourself in the world of fiber and knitting and tools and what you need and what you don't need, and how things work. Even it shows you
how to
if you buy yarn in a skein, how to wind it.
Fantastic.
And so
and it's so important because there's so many videos you can go and learn the basics, but knitting is a lot more than just learning the stitches.
Yeah,
it's it's like the whole thing about understanding yarn
and weights and how that relates to needle sizes and how that relates to the fabric that you're going to get. And it's illustrated in a really simple, clear way with some really fun beginner patterns. So
because when we teach our Learn to Knit classes, we always talk about we give people a little bit of theory so that they understand that, but when you don't take a class, sometimes you miss that. So that book is really nice because it brings it all together for you.
A nice resource for the beginner or even the advanced beginner, I would say.
And when we went to the event at Maison Tricotée, they were raffling off some of they had door prizes, and they said, well, we know everyone here knows how to knit, but it would be
you got to take this book and teach someone else
or give it to somebody. So that was a nice idea.
So we actually did get one of the books at the party, and I think, but we are coming up on 25,000 Instagram followers, Lise, so we're going to have to put together a little bit of
another little giveaway.
Exactly, so that might become part of our giveaway package.
And this is a book we've had before, Plain and Simple by Pam Allen, and we just want to say it's restocked, and there's some really beautiful plain and simple patterns. I knit the larch from here, and Gianluca's teacher is actually toying. She can't decide between the larch or this one, so I think this is more her style.
I love that one.
She's going to knit this one, and the name of this one is, let me just
Can
get
you
it.
see that? Oh,
it's called Ash.
Yes, I really like. This is my favorite pattern in the book.
So she's toying with that one. So
I love those pockets on the front.
This is a book you can actually, before the book came out, we bought the PDF, and it's a bit more awkward because it's done on long paper and it's very big. So I think like this is a nice book, a book version. Oh, and there's another Dickie.
Well, it goes down the front and the back.
Yeah.
But it's a nice great big cozy cowl. Yeah. So lots of great patterns, and 11 patterns to be precise in that book. And am I talking about this one, Lisa?
There's strange. We don't have Strange Brew because we've sold out. Fantastic book, really allowing you to create your own motifs, your yoke, and we think it's fabulous. So we just reordered.
It's a great book for an introduction to color work. It has all the tricks and tips.
It should be restocked soon.
We've had it a couple of times in stock, and it sold out quickly each time. So we will have that hopefully by the time this airs, right, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it should be arrived.
And and actually Alexa, who is part of Tin Can Knits, will be teaching at the retreat that we are going to be part of in August at the Knit for Fun retreat. And I am really toying with the idea of taking her all-day workshop on Thursday on color work design. design. I think it's a design your own colorwork sweater or something. So. Anyway, okay. So the last book we'll talk about today is The Knitter's Dictionary, Knitting Know-How from A to Z by Kate Atherley. This is a great little book with everything you need to know. If you've hit patterns and you see a instruction there, or an acronym there that you've never seen before, it's not clearly explained in the pattern, then this is the book for you. It explains everything.
I just saw the word halo.
Oh, did you? So it's a glossary of terms.
Yeah.
It is it explains. Oh, look at me. I'm just like I'm looking at it myself and not showing. It just doesn't show that well in here.
And what's great is even if you're designing patterns, or you can go there and use the proper terms and really make sure that you're understanding what the exact terms are.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's also kind of a great book for beginners because it talks all about all the tools that are involved in knitting, and then how to read a yarn label, for example, and really dissects it and tells you everything you know, and then the A to Z of knitting. And really it's just like a huge glossary of
it's a very nice resource.
It's
a very nice resource. In knitting,
your knitting journey.
Now we buy so many most of our patterns we buy online, but there are certain books that you want as resources and as sort of in your library. So this is a great one that.
So here's a note from Fiona Ellis on the back. All knitters need somebody wise when they have a question, somebody whose knowledge they can trust. With this book, they will find concise, clear, and correct terminology right at their fingertips. It's the handy reference we all wish we had beside us as we learn to knit. Each page is like having Kate Atherley beside you, whispering expert instruction into your ears. So really, can't recommend that enough. And maybe those two together.
There we go. That's a nice.
Brand. Yeah.
And now too, people are really in that this is kind of when people who want to start knitting feel the desire to knit, because it's January, February.
September too, but now it's like everybody's hunkering down. Everyone's hibernating, right?
Yes, exactly. So
you need something to pass the time.
So as we were figuring off how to end off our podcast, we're sort of, Melissa and I have started to meet about trying to figure out what our goals are for 2019 and where we're going, and there's so much possibility in the air.
Yes,
we're not sure.
We're kind of feeling like that.
We're not sure where we're going, but we feel the excitement.
So we have nothing to say about, what those plans might be or things but things are percolating, and
we're going to VKL in New York, as we mentioned, in January, and then we're going to the Vogue Knitting Destination Retreat in Portland, Maine in April, and we're hoping to stop by Harrisville Designs because they're on the way.
Time, but that one that we're going to in Portland Lease, that little retreat, is the first time we've gone on a knitting retreat.
Yes.
Where we're actually taking classes
Yeah, it's a first for us. Usually we go to shows
and knit. Imagine.
Yeah, and be in a really pretty. It's such a pretty town, Portland. So that's nice. So
we'll take advantage of being down there and hopefully head over to Harrisville as well.
And then because we have to drive there from Montreal, so it's about a 5-6 hour drive, I guess. And then we're transatlantic. Are we taking a plane? Are we going across the ocean?
Edinburgh Yarn Festival?
We don't know. We keep going back and forth. We're not sure. And then we're like,
we want to, but then we're like, but. Does it make sense financially, business-wise?
Should we be exploring other parts?
Or should we just be going because we want to?
Yeah. So we don't know. We're kind of, as fear of commitment.
You may or may not see us anyway.
And then the more we talk, people are like, you going?
It's and then we're like,
fear of missing out,
Exactly.
So we're going to figure all that out. And I guess as we go to Vogue, we'll talk more to people.
So Lisa and I are actually treating ourselves because we are going to Vogue Knitting Live for the 3 days of the actual event. But then we've decided to stay for the whole rest of the week till the following Saturday in New York City. So we are going to hit all the yarn stores. In particular, I'm looking forward to going to Felicia's String Things Studio in Brooklyn, and we're going to try to get to their knit night. Yeah, on the Friday night, plan to get exactly, which would be, I think it's February 1st or something. Whatever that Friday is. Anyway, the Friday after Vogue Knitting Live, I think we'll try and get over there. So and then we're going to hit all the stores, of course, and connect with our our network of friends is expanding, and so meeting with people and checking out shops and getting inspired and going to museums. We like doing that, and then eating good maybe
food
even just doing some strategic planning. Maybe that's where we're going to decide where this year is going to go for us. And
as we sit in our bed knitting or in the lobby, we ventured out to the lobby now.
Drinking.
Every time we eat in bed, we end up dropping stuff.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's you drop on my bed.
I did the coffee, but I think the last one in Cologne, you did a nice job there.
Yeah, didn't I flip over a pizza on the bed?
But I've done the coffee on your bed, and I think I did another one on your bed too.
Yeah.
It's funny how we eat in her bed and not in my bed.
Yeah, we're always in my bed, and then she goes off to her bed to sleep. Anyway, so we're looking forward to Vogue Knitting Live. We're looking forward to seeing all our knitter friends, and I feel like the energy at Vogue Knitting Live this year is going to be different by virtue of everything that's happened. Yeah. And I'm really hopeful and optimistic that it's just going to be a love fest. Yeah. And we're really looking forward to being part of it.
So let's keep chatting and dialoguing, and let's be open to everyone.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good. Ciao, ciao.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.